Je sais qu'à la fin d'un congrès comme celui-ci, 2-3 jours, on est très fatigué. Alors j'essaierai d'être court, très bref. Tout d'abord, j'aimerais bien remercier et féliciter mon cher ami José Luis Cruz Villaça, qui a une personnalité vraiment frappante. Je le connais depuis 40 ans, à peu près. Un brillant élève, un magnifique professeur, une personnalité juridique et politique en même temps. On a été collègues en 81, exactement, au sein du même gouvernement. Alors, et une personnalité aussi très, très pro-européenne, mais très ouverte, avec des qualités humaines uniques. Alors, je suis sûr qu'il vous a très bien reçu. On a étudié et préparé ensemble ces séances et je suis sûr qu'il a fait de son mieux pour vous montrer le Portugal tel qu'il est, un pays européen, un pays qui aime recevoir les gens, un pays de l'inclusion, un pays du dialogue. Ensuite, j'aimerais bien remercier FIDE à cause de son rôle dans le domaine du droit européen, mais aussi de la pédagogie européenne. En tant que professeur de droit, plutôt constitutionnel administratif, mais aussi de droit européen, institutionnel bien sûr, j'ai pu profiter des leçons, des rapports de FIDE. Et c'est pourquoi je considère que votre tâche, en tant qu'institution intergénérationnelle, est si importante aujourd'hui en Europe. J'aimerais bien aussi féliciter la section portugaise, la BDE, qui est toujours à la FIDE depuis 1984, je crois, oui, préparant 2 réunions au Portugal. Celle-ci est la première en 1992. Eh bien, on connaît l'importance du droit de l'Union européenne, tout le monde la connaît. On sait ce que c'est le droit de l'Union européenne, l'importance du droit légiféré, mais du droit qui correspond à une spécialité qui est l'importance, l'origine jurisprudentielle du droit européen. On le sait. Moi-même, en tant que président de République, dans le système portugais, le président a le droit de choisir entre la promulgation, la demande du contrôle préventif de la constitutionnalité des lois, ou le veto, qui est un veto absolu concernant les lois du gouvernement et qui est suspensif concernant les lois du Parlement. Alors, chaque jour, il y a des dizaines, je ne dirais pas chaque jour, mais chaque mois, des dizaines de lois qui sont le résultat du droit européen. Je dois l'admettre, un résultat parfois lourd. Il s'agit de milliers de pages ou de centaines de pages avec des détails sur tout dans notre vie collective. Mais c'est vrai cette importance. Quand j'ai commencé ma carrière en tant que professeur de droit constitutionnel, le droit constitutionnel était plutôt national. Le droit était plutôt national. Le Portugal n'appartenait pas encore aux communautés européennes. Et ensuite, tout d'un coup, on a compris que, du point de vue quantitatif et qualitatif, peut-être une partie chaque fois plus importante du droit interne et droit européen. C'est impossible de connaître le droit constitutionnel, le droit administratif, le droit privé, le droit, bien sûr, commercial, le droit interne sans savoir, sans étudier, sans connaître le droit européen. Pas simplement le droit institutionnel, le droit substantiel. C'est tout à fait impossible. Ça a été le tournant du siècle, un peu avant le tournant du siècle, que ça s'est passé, aussi au Portugal. Je sais que vous avez ici eu des débats très importants sur des sujets très actuels. C'est le cas, It is, of course, the case of e-trade and digital economy. We are facing a fourth industrial revolution. And people like to speak of the industry 4.0. But really, it is not just industry, it is agriculture, it is trade, it is society, it is a political system, it is democracy. Now we need democracy 4.0. In the sense, it's impossible to have political systems conceived for the second half of last century, facing problems and challenges of this new century. And one of my problems as a law professor was that for me, and perhaps for most of you, institutions, political institutions and law were always far behind economic, financial, social, and cultural change. Far behind. Always late. Always late. And that's a problem. And that's a problem. We should anticipate those changes. At least follow them very, very closely, which is not the case. I know that you have also debated subjects like protection of intellectual property, guarantee of citizens' fundamental rights, protection of personal data, and I saw that in The Hague you'll be back to this subject. I'm about to have to accept or not legislation on that very sensitive subject. And some sectors of Portuguese society are very much against some of the details because they consider that protection is not enough in law. Some others consider it's enough and we needed more than that or less than that. It's quite a discussion because it's a discussion about privacy, about freedom, about the relationship between our lives and the collective aims in a society, in a globalized world. I know that you've been discussing also taxation, state aid and competition, and implications for the internal market. And of course, you discussed the relationship of the European Union with other countries, other blocs concerning treaties, and perhaps the very specific situation of asylum and refugees. And that is also a very hard subject, because today we're living, and today and yesterday you heard Michel Barnier, I also received Michel Barnier, and being in touch with different heads of state and prime ministers, I feel that you have a very important role in this crossroad we are facing in the European Union. Perhaps one of the most difficult crossroads. Because we must take decisions. I mean, European decisions must take decisions in a difficult period. Because there is very little time to take them before the elections for European Parliament. That probably will give us a more fragmented European Parliament and a weaker Commission. So one should not postpone those decisions. They are difficult. They concern EMU, they concern banking union. Well, it will be much easier for digital union, but they concern migrations, refugees, and the budget for the period 2021-2027. 7 years of European lifetime. It's a tough question, this one. Having in Europe, we know it, the splits we have, that we should avoid. We should do our best to keep unity. At the same time, the European Union is negotiating also in a short period with the United Kingdom. Barnier has told you about that. till October, if possible. October is tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. And at the same time, we're seeing spreading all over Europe, Eurosceptic positions, populist, xenophobic positions, hyper-nationalist positions. As a result of our fault, of those who are pro-European, because we missed pedagogy. For many Europeans, Europe is too far away from them. Not just the rules, not just institutions, the practices. And at the same time, we have a strong crisis in national political systems in too many countries. So when sometimes I listen to this kind of judgment, we need better European leaders, I ask myself, is it possible to have better European leaders, not having better national leaders? Where are they coming from? From heaven? No, they're coming from member states. It's quite a reform needed in many political systems in member states. And this is very important to strengthen European institutions. That's why your role is vital. First of all, because I learned as a student and then law professor that law is a guarantee, it's a kind of a barrier defending the rule of law, justice, democracy, the principles and values of European Union. We start accepting exceptions, we'll be starting accepting that there are no values and no principles. Everything is relative. It's very important that the law professors, their researchers, experts in European law, study and in a sense defend permanently European law. Second rule, you must influence lawmakers. Lawmakers. That is easy concerning the courts, European courts, because they create law in a sense. They create European law. But there are so many decisions taken by other European institutions that need your influence. It's theoretical sometimes, but it's practically so important for European day-to-day life. And third, one needs to have European Union closer to the people. We know how difficult it is for common citizens to understand European institutions, European law, so detailed, so specialized, so difficult to understand and to explain. Anyway, we need that mission. It's also your mission. It's easy, of course, to be studying it and debating it in conferences, in schools, in universities, at high level. But then there is the danger of being too far away from those that really decide the European future. They'll be deciding through referenda, through elections, through currents of opinion, through inorganic movements today, at a point where party systems are in crisis. And that's a subject that is not just a subject for a political scientist, it's a subject for lawyers, law professors. There is no law far away from society. Law is conceived to rule societies. and to address the challenges of societies. Otherwise, it's a wonderful exercise for me, for my colleagues in school, for lawyers working in debates and seminars. And at the same time, we are really studying number 1 of Article 2 of a rule. We have the citizens, the European citizens, saying we don't want it. And we have already experience of what is happening when this cleavage appears. We have had it already with one member state. So that's why I was so happy for having you here. Because your presence was an honor for Portugal, was a pleasure for the Portuguese president as law professor, was a unique opportunity to show the capacity of our dear President Vilaça, how he could manage to organize everything with a very good team to try to receive you well. Just the weather was not so Portuguese, but you know, nobody's perfect. So it rained a little bit, it was too cool for the end of May. I'm afraid when comparing with Netherlands, you'll start not understand the difference between Southern European countries and Central European countries, and we'll be saying, no, that is a mess, even concerning weather. We're expecting from Southern European countries, I don't know, hot weather, beautiful weather. At the same time, some political chaos. No, you found there is stability, economic and political stability, but the weather is not so good after all. Well, it's a kind of compensation. So, well, thank you for coming. Congratulations for this Congress. Feel at home until you leave. I feel that this afternoon we will be a little better than yesterday and the day before yesterday. And if you are pro-European, and I hope you must be, it would be very strange to be expert in European law, hating European Union. Sometimes I'm very critical. The pro-Europeans must be very critical when they see that the mistakes, the errors, give reason to those that do not like this law, do not like these institutions, do not like this European Union. I feel it, but I go on being very much pro-European. Thank you, dear colleagues, and see us not in The Hague, because I'll be still president, but not being the case of trying to be re-elected, I try the next meeting. Thank you very much.